particularly when you overlay it with the latest CPI data that you have. Maybe this is the restricted territory. Maybe that's where we stay. The big question is, can the market handle it? Not much going on today in the price action, unchanged relatively across the board, with the Dow Jones Industrial Average higher by roughly 5 points as we wait for these numbers to settle. The S&P higher by about 3 points, and the NASDAQ only higher by 2. The Russell 2000, that is your relative underperformer on the day, down about 13 points or 0.7%.
Yeah, looking at the S&P 500, really kind of an even split. It's like investors are, again,
you didn't even need to show up to work today, Carol. You could have taken another day.
Hey, now you tell me. What's up with that, buddy?
All right, when you look at volume, no surprise, I guess, that it's about 22% below the year-to-date average. So we are marking time, as Carol put it. Let's take a look at the sector performances here. On the upside, you've got tech hardware. That's really Apple leading the way. Insurance companies and energy as oil prices continue to move higher, making fresh 15-month highs. On the downside, Tesla dragging down the auto companies by more than 3%. Of course, GM and Ford also in the red. Real estate investment trusts and telecom services all down by about 0.8%.
All right, so let's get to some of the individual gainers. Apple was top among the names in the S&P 500 and NASDAQ 100 today, finishing with a gain of about 1.7%. At its highs, was up as much as 2.5%. Mega caps, we did see in some of our write-throughs, kind of leading among the gainers today. Analyst commentary today, though, on Apple, focusing on pre-orders for Apple's latest iPhone. I'm going to need one. My husband's going to need one. I don't know about you guys. Anyway, there's a bit of a debate as firms note a preference for more expensive models, but see mixed prospects for the stock. So basically, analysts are trying to kind of...
Do you not have a phone now? Is that...
She has the first Apple Watch, guys.
No, I have the second Apple Watch.
I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding at all.
Some might say that's
barely
vintage.
Even tells the time.
Apple shares, by the way, are coming off 2 straight weekly declines, still up nearly 40% year-to-date, so not too shabby. DoorDash, I think you were talking about this earlier on TV, Romaine.
We were, yeah.
Okay, see, I do listen. Mizuho. Say it again.
Mizuho.
This is what happens.
Yeah.
I forget Bloomberg passwords. I can't speak anymore when I'm away for 2 weeks. Upgrading the food delivery
Drinking on the job does that.
No, I'm not. Water only. Upgrading the food delivery company to buy from neutral. The analyst over there, James Lee, says his confidence that growth and gross order value should outperform guidance and street expectations in the second half of 2023. Price target to 105 from 90. Where do we close today?
Don't look, Carol. Just don't look.
Where's my?
It's in the red.
I can't.
But just barely.
80.92 is where we close. And then Team Atlassian, top of the NASDAQ 100 today. Again, Mizuho reiterating its buy rating at $240 price target. Did I get it right?
No, but keep going.
After having learned that the company has announced a series of price increases to the cloud versions of flagship products, stock is up about 61% year to date. It's like being around my family, my 4 brothers, my 2 sisters.
That's a compliment.
It is a compliment. I love.
Let's get to some of the gainers on the day. Scarlett talked about the autos and components up there. Tesla among the best performers in there.
Did you say gainers or decliners?
Did I say gainers?
See, I'm rubbing off.
See, I was doing gainers last week when you were gone. All right, let's talk decliners. Tesla finishing the day down by 3.3%. That EV price war that we've talked about quite a bit over the last few months, it's got at least one analyst concerned. We got Mark Delaney over at Goldman Sachs lowering his 2023 and 2024 profit estimates for the company. Delaney citing lower average selling prices and auto gross margin. He said that Tesla could further lower prices in 2024 to support higher volumes. We've seen the company have a pattern of doing that. That would offset any EPS benefit from a reduction in costs. Let's take a look at Moderna. Shares of COVID vaccine makers falling on the day today. This after Pfizer came out earlier today and actually gave a prediction about how many people are going to get that COVID vaccine. They said that 24% of the U.S. population that's recommended to take the COVID-19 shots is actually going to get them. It's actually better than last year. The bivalent booster saw uptake of only 17%. Still a slight increase from last year that's got investors concerned, though. Pfizer closing lower and Moderna closing down by more than 9%. And then ARM Holdings, worth taking a look at ARM. Shares down on the day today. This after Bernstein initiated coverage with an underperform rating. Bernstein actually suggesting it might not be the beneficiary of AI that some investors may have expected. The company finished the day in the red today as well.
Hey, wait, you guys changed the boards while I was away. Thanks for the memo.
Sure, Carol. We do a lot while you're away because when Carol's away, we're like, oh wow, we can do all this stuff that Carol blocks us on.
Moving along.
Anyway, I just want a quick check on yields today here, and we should point out that the price action in the Treasury space was really not any more exciting than the price action in the equity space. Most of the activity on the longer end of the curve. So we did see a little bit of a cheapening there. Now your 2-year yield up about 3 basis points to about 5.06 and change. Everything else across the curve more or less was richer here, but this gets to the idea of that holding pattern, Scarlett, as we wait, of course, for that 2-day Fed meeting that begins tomorrow, and of course the big decision at 2 p.m. on Wednesday.
But before that, we possibly get Instacart beginning to trade tomorrow as soon as they price their IPO right now. Romaine, we were reporting earlier that perhaps they're going to be IPOing at $30 a piece.
Yeah.
And of course, this comes on the heels of the ARM IPO, which was widely received well.
I'm actually probably more interested in how this IPO is received than ARM, because we kind of knew ARM was going to have get a lot of attention, right? We knew that there were a lot of people scrambling to do that. Instacart seems like one of those stocks or one of those companies where it's not going to be as definitive. So you kind of wonder what the appetite is going to be for basically a grocery delivery.
It's not a mature company like ARM is either.
It's not, and it has less of a track record in terms of profitability. I know there's been a lot of talk about its ad business and how that becomes a little bit of a ballast. I think we can get rid of the yields that are on the screen there, but that becomes a little bit more of a ballast there. One interesting thing that I found that I learned today is, do you know what the name of this company is? It's not Instacart.
No.
It's
Maple
called
Bear.
Maple Bear.
I did not know that.
I did not know that either.
I just keep thinking of the honey bear.
That is the
Maple
formal
Bear?
name.
Sounds
That is the
positively
formal
Vermont.
name of the
Just
company.
evokes
There we
images of
are.
Vermont to me.
Yeah.
Oh, hey.
Yeah,
Hey, oh wait, there are people here.
yeah, Maple Bear.
I
Why
like
is
that.
it Maple Bear?
I don't know, but the ticker is going to
I
be
think
called
that's a holding company name.
So you
RT.
mean, okay, Romaine, so you find out Maple Bear?
I didn't. I literally
didn't
found this out
Google
like
it?
2 hours ago. I have to
2
dig. I'm
hours?
sure
You
there's
didn't
got to be a
Google it?
reason why they named it that. Maybe they started as Maple Bear and then somebody said, Instacart is maybe a little.
Instacart's pretty cool.
Yeah.
You do raise a good point though, Romaine, about what it means for other companies that have been on the sidelines for years at this point.
You know,
I mean, the drought
everybody's
in
now
IPOs,
tuning away, and they're going to be Googling Maple Bear.
But the drought in IPOs that we've seen over the last 18 months has been, the biggest drought going back to the financial crisis. So, the big question is not how ARM did on its first day, but it's about how ARM does over the next month or so. It's about how Instacart does. It's about how Birkenstock does.
And just too, we should point out with ARM, and we kind of know that some of the price action was just distorted because there was such a small amount of shares that were actually made available to the public. That's not necessarily going to be the case with Instacart. We're going to have a much bigger float.
I'm just looking at the IPO ETF that tracks new issuances. It's gone from a low of $24 at the start of the year, now about $33, $32. So it's been holding up okay. Even
That's
with
what
the
you're looking up. Shouldn't you have been looking up what Maple Bear means?
That's what I'm
that's the
doing. I'm
most
like,
important thing here.
That's
Scarlett.
exactly what I'm trying to do. Why Maple Bear?
Yeah. Okay. Well, why don't you do that?
We're going to get a lot of messages about this.
Well, what's interesting, though, I do think it is a really strong sign when you've got companies, right? ARM is in its whole other category. But if you have companies feeling comfortable enough to IPO in this market, you've got Birkenstock coming and a few others, it does say something about the strength of this environment, right? You're not going to do it if you feel like it's going to come apart.
It means no landing for the economy, right?
Birkenstock has been on the sidelines for 260 years, guys.
Birkenstock, I know. That's how about a mature company there?
Exactly.
All right, everybody who's listening and watching, please send us notes on
Do we
Twitter,
know who the founders are?
Who?
Some German brothers.
I don't know.
Yeah,
it sounds like that they were
brothers.
a technology company. I don't know.
Birkenstock?
No,
Oh.
Instacart, Maple Bear.
Oh, okay.
We're talking about two different companies here.
Carol, can we look? I think we should go now. Let Carol sort of get up to speed. We're going to try this again on Tuesday, and hopefully,
try me on Friday. I might be up to speed by Friday. All right, guys, that is a wrap. Our cross-platform coverage, radio, TV, YouTube, and Bloomberg Originals. We have fun. What can we say? The markets are fun. Beyond the bell. We'll see you again tomorrow.
I will buy you a garden where your flowers can bloom. I will buy you a new car with exciting.
All right.